Welcome in episode 5, Word of the Weiss. I'm in a little bit of a rush today. I just produced the Gator baseball game, 11-0 run rule, so that was nice to see. And I am going in a little bit to see 65, new movie with Adam Driver. I've heard pretty awful things about it, but I'm open-minded. I go in open-minded, so we'll see how it is. But this episode right here is going to be a little bit different because, well, each episode we've done so far, the first 4, has been a little bit different in each of their own ways, right? But they've all been similar, as in they've all either followed a major event or they've all recapped a major event. They've all had one big topic as the focus. Let me explain what I mean, because I'm kind of butchering that. So episode 1 followed the NBA trade deadline. It recapped the Super Bowl. It was the intro. Episode 1 previewed the Super Bowl. Episode 2 recapped the Super Bowl. Episode 3 was the Quantumania, movie review. And episode 4 was Everything Gators. And we've had some awesome guests. Shout out Mike Kennedy. Shout out Cam Parker. It is my somber responsibility to have to inform you guys that it is just me today. I know. Not super exciting. But that lasted a lot longer than I thought it would. But the good news is that today's episode is going to be a lot shorter than the rest. That's something I'm working on. I'm not gonna lie. Before this podcast, I did not know I could be so long-winded. I actually thought of myself as more of a, I don't want to say reserved type of person, but not someone that just goes on and on and on. But I get in front of the mic and have things to say, and time just flies. So today's episode is going to be a lot more of what I would consider a standard episode, meaning it's not following, the newest installment in the MCU or the Super Bowl or the NBA trade deadline. Today, what we're going to do is we're just going to talk headlines, NBA, NFL, pop culture, and we're just going to talk about what's been going on. So, and, God, do we have some headlines to talk about? So far we've touched on everything. We've touched on, I talked about this a little bit the past episode, but, we've touched on NCAA, we've touched on NBA, NFL, Marvel, DC, pretty much everything. And today we have headlines. So, we're going to start in the NFL. Big news out of Chicago. Number 1 pick traded to Carolina for number 9, DJ Moore, and a pretty solid package of picks to go along with it. So, I'll get to the fun stuff, the Anthony Richardson stuff, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I love it. Love it for the Bears. It would have been irresponsible to draft at that number 1 spot because you're not going to draft a quarterback. So to draft Will Anderson, let's say, we'll see what happens with the Georgia guy. But to draft a player that isn't a quarterback at that number 1 spot would have been irresponsible ownership. And the fact that they not only got something for it, which I knew they would. You can't lose out on value like that, because now at number 9, you're still going to get either, I don't think Will Anderson's going to fall that low, but you've got him, you've got the Georgia guy, you've got 2 great offensive linemen, 2 great defensive linemen, you've got a really, really good running back. You've got a number of options you can take at 9. Because if you think about it, in the top 10, let's look at the NFL draft order. What teams are going to take quarterbacks? All right. Panthers, that's 1. Texans, that's 2. Cardinals, no. Colts, that's 3. Seahawks, no. Detroit, I'm going to say no. Raiders, yes. Falcons, yes. And then it's the Bears. 5 quarterbacks are going to be taken by the time you get to 9. Which means that you are going to get the 4th non-quarterback. Want to make sure that math was right. You are going to get the 4th non-quarterback taken. You don't think there's four great non-quarterbacks in this draft class? Like I said, you got the Georgia guy, the Bama guy. You've got great offensive and defensive line. The Bears are still going to get a great prospect, and instead of way overdrafting him at one, now not only did they support their quarterback Justin Fields, however you feel about him, they supported him. They showed him, you're our guy, because not only did they not take a quarterback, obviously, they didn't entertain taking a quarterback. They got him DJ Moore, who's 25 years old. Tua got Tyreek. Jalen got AJ Brown. Justin Fields gets DJ Moore. So not only did you support your quarterback by not drafting one, you also got him a number one guy, and you got a ton of value back for that. Bears came out great. I love it for the Bears. And my cousin's a Bears fan, and I asked him how he felt about it, and he pretty much felt similarly. I mean, I don't think he was as happy about it as I. Not that I'm happy about. I'm not a fan of the team, but I don't think he was as high on it as I am. But he liked it, and I frankly don't see how you couldn't if you're a Chicago fan. Now, for the Panthers, you know, it's tough to be that high on one side of the trade and still be happy for the other team, because I'm not as happy for them as I am for Chicago, but I don't hate it for Carolina either. Yeah, it sucks losing DJ Moore. Yeah, whatever quarterback you draft now is going to have pretty much nobody to throw the ball to. But at the end of the day, the most important position in football is the quarterback, and now they're going to get their choice at which guy they want, whether it be Will Levis or Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson. They're going to get their choice, who they want, and that right there is pretty close to invaluable. As much as giving up what they gave up hurts, you got to get that position right before you can even start thinking about anything else. And now they're going to get their opportunity to. Other NFL headline: Lamar Jackson. He's done in Baltimore. There is no way that he plays another game as a Baltimore Raven. Now, where is he going to be next season? I don't know. If I'm the New York Jets, and I tweeted this out when I heard the news that they gave Lamar the non-exclusive. You're in the plane headed to Green Bay, right? You get that news. Fly it around and go to Baltimore. Because to have the opportunity to get Lamar Jackson for this New York Jets team, and to instead pay as much money as you're going to have to pay for Aaron Rodgers to get Aaron Rodgers at that age, at that contract, it's lunacy. Why? How could you not choose Lamar Jackson in this situation if you're the Jets? And don't get me wrong, I'm one of the furthest things from a Jets fan, so I wouldn't be upset at all if they do go with Aaron Rodgers over Lamar Jackson. But I just can't see any thought process as to why you would. And let me explain how Lamar Jackson got here quickly. It's really, I mean, people confuse it. People are writing 2,000-word articles about what the non-exclusive is and how the Lamar and Baltimore situation is playing out. And it's really not that difficult the way I see it. And I could be wrong, but logically, this just makes the most sense. Deshaun Watson got the fully guaranteed deal, right? Lamar Jackson wants that contract. And you know what? I'm not mad at him for it. He's more valuable than Deshaun Watson. He's an MVP. He's young. He's won a playoff game. So why shouldn't he get the same deal that someone worse than him? Because the Cleveland front office is a bunch of idiots, and they gave Deshaun Watson an historically awful the best contract in NBA NFL history is Deshaun Watson's. And so the owners of teams are looking around at each other like, dude, nobody give Lamar Jackson that deal. Because once it gets given to a second player, once a second quarterback gets that fully guaranteed deal, what do you think Joe Burrow is going to want? What do you think Justin Herbert's going to want? What do you think all these young guys are going to start wanting when they see, oh, it wasn't just a fluke with Deshaun Watson? Lamar got that fully guaranteed deal too. Well, I want it. And that's the last thing these owners want, is to have to pay every quarterback a fully guaranteed deal. So Lamar, rightfully so, wants the Deshaun contract. And the owners, understandably, are probably looking around at each other like, don't screw this up for the rest of us. Don't give him that damn deal, because once you do, we are all screwed. And every quarterback's going to want that same contract. So I get what both sides are doing. And the reason the Ravens are letting Lamar test the market is because they don't think anybody's going to give him that deal. And so I think the relationship between Lamar and Baltimore at this point is just too far gone. So I think one of two things is going to happen. Either somebody, like the Jets, is going to say, F it, screw all you owners. We want Lamar Jackson. Give him the fully guaranteed deal, done. He's a Jet. Or any other team that makes that decision. Or nobody does. Lamar's back with Baltimore, and he doesn't have to. Look, the thing about this, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, I only do because I heard it on a show I was watching, they were talking about it. Lamar doesn't have to sign a contract because of the way the non-exclusive franchise tag works. I'm not going to get into all the specifics because it runs deeper than I really know, to be honest, but he doesn't have to sign a contract until, I think it's week 10. So if Lamar wants, he can wait until, I don't know, say the Saint, random example here. Say the Saints start 7-1, 6-2, and Derek Carr gets hurt out for the season. Knock on wood, obviously. And now you don't think Lamar says, hey, fully guaranteed deal, I can come in and save your season. We could go compete for a Super. You don't think a team whose quarterback gets hurt after a good start to the season, say a few weeks in, would be desperate enough to give Lamar that deal he wants? So I think Lamar is either going to, well, he's waiting, and somebody's going to just snap and give him that fully guaranteed deal. Or he's going to wait through the season for something like that to happen. So for him to return to Baltimore, I'd be absolutely stunned if that happens. I think right now they're at a standstill, and somebody's going to flinch, and I think it's going to be a team desperate enough to give him the contract he wants. And if that doesn't happen, then I think this Lamar thing is going to go on for a long, long time, possibly into the start of the season. So that's where I fall on Lamar and in the NFL headlines right now, I guess. So, and I don't know how much time it's been, but I'm kind of flowing through this pretty quickly. All right. Anyway, sorry. NBA headlines. I saw a tweet today. I'm actually going to pull it up because, God, it really, I don't know why it pissed me off so much, but it really did. And it was about Kevin Durant, and it was about him. And real quick, let me mention, yeah, that injury sucks. When have we ever seen a player walk into a game fully healthy, not on the injury report, the ball doesn't tip off, and he's walking out in a walking boot? Have we ever seen that? Because, God, it sucks. I mean, he'll be back by the playoffs, I think, possibly before the regular season ends, but it's looking like he's gonna get, what's the word? I guess slowly back into the rotation as the playoffs get started. But that's not what this tweet was about. It was from, and I don't know who this guy is, but KD responded to it, so he must be somewhat notable, I guess. King Q on Twitter. Not even going to try to pronounce his name, but it looks like he's the CEO of Empire. whatever that is. But so he said the difference between Braun and KD in terms of super teams is this: King James be building his cars from scratch, and he don't really know if it's going to work or not, but he buys high quality parts, so it should. KD just hops in the passenger seat of every McLaren he sees. And oh my, how? Okay, people say KD did it again when he went to the Suns. He did it again. He did what again? The Suns? Nobody was picking the Suns to come out of the West, never mind win it all before he went to them. The difference when he went to the Warriors, they just won 73 games and were already the favorites. And he joined them. When he went to Brooklyn, he built a super team that as soon as he built it, they were the favorites in the East. When KD got to the Warriors, they were already the favorites. When KD joined the Nets, they became the favorites before the season started. Before he joined the Suns this season, you didn't pick them to come out of the West. You didn't pick them to win it all this year. I didn't pick them to come out. Nobody was picking them to come out of the West. So he did what again? He joined a super team? How are they a super team if nobody thought they were going to win it all? They became one once he got there. So the idea that him winning a ring this season with Phoenix would be the same, I guess, level of ring, that's even a thing, but you get what I'm saying, as those with the Warriors, it's nonsense. How can... It just makes no sense to me. Because if you can sit there and honestly say, Phoenix was my pick to come out of the West, Phoenix was my pick to win it all this year before he got there, then you know what? Okay, that's fair. That is fair. You have the right to say that about KD. But if you weren't, if you were picking anybody but Phoenix, and I know you were, then you don't get to say he did it again. He joined another super team. Of course the Suns are going to win it all now with him. It doesn't count. It's not the same. It's not even remotely close to being the same. What were the Suns' record? What was the Suns' record before he got there this season? I don't know how to find that on the spot. Probably should have prepped for this beforehand, but look, right now the Suns are 37-29. Their last 10, they're 7-3. So let's just take away their last 10. And I know he hasn't played in every game of their last 10, but he's played in a couple. They would have been 30-26. And right now they're the 4 seed in the West. So a team a few games above 500. That's around the middle of the Western Conference. KD joined that team, and he did it again. He joined the 7-3-9 Warriors again. It's not the same. People want it to be the same because people want to belittle KD, because people are upset what he did with the Warriors. And you know what? If you're upset with what he did with the Warriors, fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It sucks. It for obvious reasons, but this is not that. They were in the middle of the pack in the Western Conference. They were a couple games above 500. Chris Paul was having the worst season of his career and still is. Actually, it might be the worst season of his career. I don't know. But it's down there. DeAndre Ayton and, nobody talks about this anymore, but DeAndre Ayton and Monty Williams, if you don't remember, were not exactly getting along too well in the offseason. Whole thing with DeAndre Ayton signing with Detroit, I think it was. And then there was just a lot of bad energy in Phoenix with Ayton and Monty Williams, and Chris Paul wasn't having a great year. But nobody wants to talk about that anymore because all of a sudden they were the favorites before KD got there. He did it again. Bullshit. No, he didn't. If KD wins this year with Phoenix, then there is no blemish on that ring. None. There is no blemish on that ring. And look, you know what? I do think there is I do that at least once every episode. I think there is at least some sort of blemish on the ones with the Warriors. Now, all time when we look back on it, are we going to say, what he did to get? Maybe. But this is not that. It's not the same. So that's My thoughts on, I don't know, maybe it's just this guy, but I don't know if the general public is saying that about KD this year, but I think it's nonsense, to be quite honest with you. So, Ja Morant, I don't want to get too deep into it because, God, that is good. Fanta Zero, Fanta, the orange soda. They have a zero version of it. No calories, no caffeine, no sugar. God, it's good. But I don't, when it comes to sensitive subjects like this with John Morant, I don't like to speak on anything that isn't a fact that we know for a fact. And so I'm not going to. So what I do know for a fact is that Ja flashed a gun on his Instagram story, and that's what I know for a fact because I saw it. And there's been speculation that maybe he hangs around the wrong guys, or he, what he does off the court and with his dad's involvement and with all of that. And I'm not going to speculate because it's not my place to. But basically, my thoughts on it are Ja doesn't feel right now that he is in a place to be able to play basketball. And yeah, on the court, it sucks because the Grizzlies are one of the exciting, fun teams in the league, and Ja is one of the exciting young players in the league. But you can't, I mean, look, flashing a gun on your Instagram story is not illegal, obviously. But, I mean, just think like logic. Just have some logic to your thought. It's irresponsible. I mean, he is one of the faces of one of the biggest businesses in the entire world. He has millions and millions and millions of kids looking up to him all the time. And it's irresponsible to be, showing guns and strip clubs or whatever he was in. And so he feels like, based on the statement he gave out, and again, say he didn't really make that statement. The NBA is forcing him to leave. The this is BS. Well, all I know is what I know for a fact, and what I know for a fact is that he posted a statement that he claims was his statement. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to choose to believe John Morant because I don't have any reason not to. And he said that he doesn't feel like he's in a place right now mentally to where he can play basketball. And I obviously hope the best for him. I hope we get him back soon. I hope the Grizzlies get him back by the playoffs because I think they are an exciting, fun young team. But I don't feel like I'm in a place to really go deeper in it than that because I don't know. I don't talk to John Morant. So that's where I'm at on that pretty much. Now switch gears a little bit. I'm not really the "I told you so" type of guy, right? Well, I can be. I look. The Lakers are dangerous. The Lakers are really damn dangerous. I promise you don't want them matching up with the Nuggets in the first round. I promise you don't want them matching up with the Kings in the first round. Guys, LeBron's not playing. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They were the 13 seed. What was it? 2 weeks ago? And now they're one game out of the 5 seed. This team got so much better at the trade deadline. You add D'Angelo Russell and Jared Vanderbilt and Mo Bamba, and you you fill your roster with guys who can play. You no longer have your fourth best player being the 15th guy on any other team. The Lakers actually have a good team now. And if you could, and look, I'm not happy to be right. I mean, okay, well that God, dude, that sounded like such a douche there. I look, but I'm not happy necessarily that the Lakers are all this. I'm pretty far from a Lakers fan. Is my point. But you can't look at this team. LeBron, Anthony Davis playing the best basketball of his career, up there with the best basketball of his career these past week or so. D'Angelo Russell, the other guys I named, they have a great head coach in Darvin Ham. They're 7-3 in their last 10 without a top 10 player in the league. LeBron has been out. Look, all I'm saying is that keep telling yourself that the Lakers are the what they start. Was it 2-12 or whatever their horrid start to the season was? Keep telling yourself that's the team they are. But the truth is they are far from it. And they are going to make the playoffs. I promise you that. And they're going to be we'll see when the playoffs come around and I make my official playoff bracket, and we'll see what happens. But if you still think the Lakers are a dumpster fire with no chance of doing anything in the offseason, hate to tell you, you're not sure you're right about that. Yes, the Celtics lost back-to-back games to the Knicks. Yes, the Celtics had a little bit of a rut there. Yes, I've caught some heat for it, but I'm not mad at it. And let me explain why. Last season, the Celtics played pretty much perfect basketball from the midpoint season until the NBA Finals. And then what happened when they reached the finals? You run out of gas, man. Why do you think Draymond said we? And I'm not going to get into Draymond Dylan Brooks stuff because I think I'm Team Dylan Brooks, and but I'm not going to get into all that. But what Draymond said about why do I care about playing in March? These March games, it's hard to get up in the morning for these March games. Like, yeah, that's what championship pedigree means. It means that you know you know, when to get to your highest level of effort and play and when not to. And that's not me saying the Celtics aren't trying. Of course they're trying. But if you're going to have that moment, that sigh of relief after playing such inspiring, hard basketball for so long, I'd rather it be in March than in June. So, and now the Celtics are getting back on track. They beat Portland the other night. And I still, look, I know Milwaukee looks amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, look, the Celtics Milwaukee Eastern Conference Finals starts tomorrow, let's say. I'm not sitting here like, Celtics in 4. No, 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 no. Milwaukee's scary. Philly's scary. I'm not here to doubt or deny that. But people saying it's Milwaukee's conference. It's over. I don't see the Celtics or no, this is a three-man race. This is still very much Celtics, Bucks, Sixers. I would say Celtics and Bucks are on the same level. Sixers are just a tiny tier under them. But you want to go any of the three, go ahead. Respect to Cleveland, my guy Donovan Mitchell, but I don't know if they're ready yet. I think they still need that wing. Isaac Okoro hasn't really come along. But look, all I'm saying about the Celtics is I'd much rather this happen now, or now they're back on track. But I'd much rather that sigh of relief happen now, because the Celtics have now what they have is championship pedigree. They have been there. This roster, Joe Mazzulla has been there, not as a head coach, but he was there last year. Jason Tatum has been there. Jaylen Brown has been there. Marcus Smart has been there. They haven't won it, but they've been there. They have that pedigree now. So I'd much rather the sigh of relief happen now, for lack of a better phrase, than in June. So I'm not mad at a Tuesday night game to the Knicks in which they lose in double overtime. Go ahead, have it. We'll see you in June. So, switch gears a little bit to some pop culture stuff to close out today's episode. I don't know how long it's been again. I gotta start looking at the time before I start so I have any semblance of time, but I think we've been pretty good today. But, some pop culture stuff. So I saw Creed 3 last weekend, and it ruled. Yeah, Jonathan if someone came up to me and said, Jonathan Majors is the best actor alive right now, like right now, he is the best actor alive, I'd be like, it's kind of that's a hot take, but I don't hate it. I mean, and look, to be fair, I've only ever seen him in Quantumania and Creed 3, and I know he's been in a few other things, so I don't maybe it's not fair of me to really judge him because I haven't seen everything he's been in. But based on those two movies, I mean, dude, this guy is like, oh my god, he is so good. He reminds me a ton of Giancarlo Esposito because it's just what makes them so great in these villain roles is it's the I don't know how to word this. Hope you guys know what I mean. The space between their words, what they say without saying anything, right? Because I went to a Juan Carlo Esposito live show here at UF a couple weeks ago, and he was explaining to us how he does it. Um, like he was basically he was doing the line like "You have what I want," and he was saying like without any pauses and spaces, and you have something I want, and then he just locks in, and you have something I want. I butchered that. But the point is, dude, I'm gonna get roasted for that by Mike if he ever sees that. Oh my god. The point is the space between words, the facial expressions, the emotion they're able to, display without just outright crying or screaming or yelling or, doing anything crazy. Just the emotion they're able to display so subtly. It's just incredible. And I think Jonathan Majors is I credit to Michael B. Jordan. It was his directorial debut. He killed it. I thought the fights were awesome. Um, and Jonathan Majors, dude, I can't wait to see him in more stuff because God, this guy is just so good. Um, on the movie front as well, tonight I already mentioned it. I am going to see 65 with Adam Driver. Heard pretty awful things. Not expecting a lot, but it's dinosaurs and lasers, so can't be that bad, right? Famous last words. Um, on the TV front, The Last of Us is one of the best shows I've ever seen. I'm ready to say that. We have one episode left. Tomorrow the season finale airs, and I'm ready to say it's one of the best shows. Now, it's not one of the 5 or probably not 10 best show. I need more seasons. I mean, you get what I'm saying. But in a vacuum, this season is one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen. I mean, beginning to end, it's just so good. I mean, Joel and Ellie, Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey are just unbelievable together. I mean, last episode when, oh my god, when he said, "Baby, I got you, baby girl," I, dude, my if my roommate wasn't watching it with me, man, tears would have been flowing. But just so good. I mean, The Last of Us is incredible. I'm gonna do a little, maybe like I don't know, maybe a series review or just like a episode ranking. I don't know. I'm gonna do something with it when it's over. We'll see how they cap things off tomorrow. But God, HBO Max has been killing it lately with these shows. I mean, House of the Dragon and now Last of Us. And I'm really excited. James Gunn and DC are going to be doing some work with HBO Max coming up, dropping some shows. Um, so I love what HBO Max is doing, and yeah, man. I mean, The Last of Us is just incredible, incredible, incredible. Um, and I got some shows to catch up on too. So I'm working my way through Andor. I've been watching it for a while. I just time is I've been prioritizing sleep over catching up on TV shows lately, and that's my fault. I know that's false prioritization, but man, sometimes it happens. I'll get back on track soon, but I think I'm on episode 9 of Andor. Got a few left there. Then I got to catch up on Mandalorian. I think episode 3 comes out this week, possibly 4, but I got to catch up on that, which I will do. And then finally, season 4 of 4 or 5 of You just came out. Part 2 just came out the other night, so it's all out now, and I am definitely gonna binge that very soon because God, You is so good from what I mean so far. I don't know how new season is, but so good, so good. Um. Oh, and finally, March Madness. I did want to mention. I am working on my bracket. I'm gonna finish it up here in the next few days, and I'll post it on my socials. Word of the Weiss on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, if you're a Facebook user. And so I'm going to post my bracket there when I finish up with them. And on the next episode, I will talk about it, review it, maybe see if I how I did for at least however whatever point we're in March Madness by the time the next episode comes out. And speaking of when the next episode is going to come out, it is going to be next weekend is the goal, and the reason for that is because spring break is this week. UF spring break. I'm going home to Orlando tomorrow. And I will be back on Friday. So I'll be home with no studio. But what I am gonna do over the break, I won't be able to record episodes, no studio, but I'm gonna try to improve them. I mean, I've been improving them slightly each episode as far as me what I can do with my voice and cadence and shortening the episodes, which I really hope I'm hoping today's under 45 minutes. Under 30 would be like so nice, but under 45 I'm hoping. Um but as far as the technicalities of the episodes, intro music, outro music, edits, stuff like that, I'm gonna work on that a lot over spring break. So my priorities for the next few days till next episode are gonna be that, catching up on all those shows, uh, and yeah. As far as that's concerned, finishing up my bracket too. But yeah, man, I've just been loving the process of this podcast. I mean, it's been exactly what I've wanted it to be. It's just been so much fun. Like it really has been. And yeah, like the first episode is almost at 200 views, I think, and the rest have kind of fallen off a bit. I think we're hovering around like what 60 to 75 average, and that's amazing. And I love the support, and I love you guys watching it, and I love the engagement, obviously. But like at the end of the day, I'm just doing this because I love all of these subjects, and I just want to talk about them. And your fingers eventually hurt from tweeting so much, and I just I just love it, and I'm loving improving with it and getting more comfortable up here, and having guests on has been awesome. Hopefully next guest or the guest or next episode or the episode after will have a guest, and yeah, no, it's just been a ton of fun. I'm loving doing this. And guys, thank you for watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or actually watching on Spotify. I always forget that Spotify has the option where you can also watch it, which is just weird. If you watch it on Spotify, little judgment. It's kind of weird. Just watch it on YouTube. But however you're taking the content, thank you. It does mean a lot. I actually, before I go, I want to. This is crazy. So I found out that I can. Let me sign into this. I found out that I can see um like analytics for the episodes, like where people are watching from, and how long they're watching episodes for and stuff like that. And this is another one of those things that I'm just not great with, obviously, because I've never podcasted before. This is my first time really doing any of this. But I do want to share this with you guys if I can pull it up here. Okay. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay, here we go. So 95% of you guys are watching and listening in the US, which means 5% aren't. 4%, and I don't know, I think maybe that's like two people, I don't know, are watching from Ireland, and 1% is watching from Germany. So if you are that listener too from Ireland or Germany, thank you. I mean, that's crazy. That means a lot, guys. Seriously, DM me on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and let me know who you. I want to say hi because that's awesome. I mean, that's like the coolest thing in the world. But yeah, yeah. 88% of you guys are guys. 11% are female. Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, 2% of you are over 60. 7% are 35, 44. 7% 28, 34, 7, 23, 27, 79% 18 to 22. I'm not going to go through all these, but I just wanted to pretty much say the Ireland and Germany thing. Like, that's so cool. But, I guess it's also possible that maybe someone just has like a fake, like has a fake location on their phone. That's probably pretty, I probably look pretty dumb right now. That's probably likely. But if it isn't that, and if you are actually watching or listening from those places, thank you. That is literally the coolest thing ever. So, all right, guys, that is it for episode 5, Word of the Weiss. I'll be back next weekend. We'll talk. It'll probably be another standard episode like this. More headlines, NBA, NFL. Talk some March Madness, some DC, Marvel movies, TV. I'm gonna try to do it another short episode. I'm gonna make a guess here. Potentially embarrass myself. I'm gonna say this episode is 39 minutes long. Let's see that. And I swear I'm not, like, the phone is turned. I don't know how to tell. But thank you for watching, for listening. Until next time, guys. Word of the Weiss.